How's it going, everybody? This is Catfish on Ice, episode 176 tonight. Take care, everybody. How we doing? Ready to go here. Talking about the trade deadline, recap, talking about Preds and Canucks coming up later tonight. How are you guys doing tonight?
Soon. Canucks, Preds, 10:30. Late night game, boys.
Yeah, we need caffeine. We need caffeine for this one, guys.
I don't know if I can make it that whole time. That's late, boys.
Yeah, it's late. We're going to at least talk about the beginning of the game.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And we're going to talk about really the trade deadline recap here, guys, because a lot has happened in the past couple weeks. A lot of players have gone out. We've actually brought some players in. I really want to talk about Tyson Barrie. I want to get you guys' thoughts on this. A lot of people are not talking about Tyson Barrie. They think he's going to be a big piece that's just flipped at next year's trade deadline, which could very well be the case. But in the short term, I feel really good about Tyson Barrie. You know, I went down to, a lot of you guys know, I went down to Sunrise, Florida, made the 4-hour drive down to Sunrise, Florida to knock a NHL arena off my list that I hadn't been to yet. And first of all, I do not recommend that drive at all. It is not fun. A lot of construction. A lot of me questioning my loyalty to this team. Why am I making this drive down to see the Predators? But you know what? It was worth it because the boys played well. It was a great game. A lot of Predators fans down there, right outside of Fort Lauderdale, right on the edge of the Everglades National Forest. So right outside of Miami. It's a really pretty part of Florida. But if you're driving there, you better really be loyal to the team you're driving to because it is a trek, guys.
The arena looked a little empty.
It actually filled up. So the lower bowl did fill up. So I got a funny story about this whole situation. So I got my seats off a third-party seller, SeatGeek, like StubHub and all those.
Yep.
And bought a single ticket, went down there by myself and everything. And lower bowl ticket, we talked about it a couple episodes ago, how cheap my ticket was to sit lower bowl. Get there about an hour before puck drop, you know, go into the arena, I'm checking it out or whatever. And I don't know how many NHL arenas do this. Some other people can comment on this that are watching. But if you get there early enough, it doesn't matter if you have an upper bowl ticket, lower bowl. It doesn't matter where your ticket's at. You can go right on the glass, watch the guys warm up, everything. Oh, cool. Get right up on the boards. There were at least 50, 60 Preds fans in warm-ups before the official warm-ups. I'm talking before the players go to the locker room and stuff, cheering on. They had their signs out. There was a great representation of Preds fans at this game. So that was really cool to see. And, you know, that was Tyson Barrie's Preds debut against the Panthers at this game. And in warm-ups, you know, did you guys see the really awkward video that was shared where he was introducing himself to the team in the, like they were having a pregame meeting?
Yeah, I did.
What did you guys think about that? What did you guys think about that?
That was hysterical.
I felt bad for the dude, man. I was like, you know.
The only one that really looked friendly was Phil.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. He like hugged him and stuff, but the other guys are like, I'm Alex. I'm Yakov. Nice to meet you. I'm like, boys, the trade deadline's over. You're good now. You don't have to worry anymore.
Yeah, it's like you don't have to freak out anymore about this. It's okay.
Yeah. Welcome the new guy. He might be a little bit of an upgrade.
It was a little strange for real. Like and it's just a short video, so who knows? It was definitely felt awkward or whatever. Because you know everyone misses Ekholm, and it was so quick. And then you heard the news about is his hockey gear going to arrive on time? Mm-hmm. We heard everything about that. Yeah. Just a really weird situation all the way around. And then you know the Preds had already acquired Calfoot, so you're wondering how are they going to fit in all these new defensemen, these two new defensemen? Ekholm's out now. They bring Tyson Barrie in. How does he fit for this long-term future for the team? We're going to try to unpack that. We're going to see what his impact is in tonight's game against the Canucks because, guys, in the last win over the Blackhawks, I got to tell you, Tyson Barrie was buzzing on that power play. Did you guys notice?
Mm-hmm.
Kyle, what did you see on that?
I mean, he did what he's always done, just not in an Oilers jersey.
Yeah, exactly.
He's always been a great power play defenseman. His biggest, I guess, faux pas would be he's not exactly the most defensive defenseman there is out there. But as far as a puck handling defenseman, you can't really complain about anything he does. He's excellent in that role. Which is good for Nashville because they have a lot of good defensive defensemen. So having another puck-moving defenseman isn't a bad thing.
An offensive defenseman who's not quite fully a defenseman, right?
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of an upgrade.
No, yeah, I totally agree with that for sure. I do. And, it's one of those things where he could definitely be part of a longer-term plan. The front office is with Barry Trotz and new GM, and obviously David Poyle is still consulting in that role. They probably have a broader picture, but in the short term, here's my two X factors, guys, for this push to the playoffs, the path to the playoffs that we're going to unpack a little bit later in this episode here. There's two X factors for me. One is the one that's always existed with this team, and that is goaltending. Look at what Kevin Lankinen did at that game that I was at in Florida in person. Look at what Kevin Lankinen did. And a lot of people that was not on a back-to-back, everybody. This team is wanting to make a point of the matter that they want Saros to get some rest, and they're thinking about the long-term future. That was the night before the trade deadline. So a lot of people were already ringing the alarm bells thinking, night before the trade deadline, they're benching Saros for Lankinen. People were drawing the conclusions very quickly that night going into that game. Turns out they just want Saros to get some rest, and they have a lot of confidence in Lankinen, and he delivered that night.
He sure did. And he has been well rewarded for his efforts, which we'll talk about as well.
The lines have just came out, and they're kind of interesting for tonight's game.
Share them with us. First of all, before you share them, Kyle, this is a very rare moment on Catfish and Ice. Normally, we are reacting post-game, but this is a very late puck drop, and all three of us are in the Eastern time zone. I'm sure we have a lot of listeners and live viewers right now on YouTube and Twitter. First of all, thank you all so much for watching live right now with us. You're probably in the Central time zone if you're a Predators fan. If not, either way, we are in the Eastern time zone. This is a super late start. We're not going to make it all the way to the end of the game. We're definitely going to react to the beginning of it. We're going to talk about how we feel about it. So with that said, Kyle, with this rare moment on an episode of Catfish and Ice, what are the lines looking like tonight? I haven't even seen them.
So Emma Lingen just posted it. If you don't know who Emma is, she is the Preds beat reporter for the Preds. She's awesome. Follow her. She'll reply back if you have questions. Anyways, the top line, Matt Duchene, Tommy Novak, Luke Evangelista.
Ooh, I love it.
I like it.
Yep.
Second line, Asplund, Glass, and Leonard. Third line, Trenton Sissons and Cole Smith.
That's the new hard line.
I mean, it really is. Then you have Jankowski, McCarron, and Sherwood on the fourth line.
Today. Yep.
Yeah, Tomasino's day-to-day with upper body, I believe. Then you have Yossi Fabro and McDonough Barry. And like I just said, you have him with a very defensive defenseman. That's a great pairing. Then Lasagna and
Lozenge.
Wait a minute. I love that you just said lasagna because that's what Tyson Barrie said in his Preds interview. That was an awesome interview that the Preds social media team did. And they caught him first of all, I'm liking Tyson Barrie more and more the more I hear from him. I miss Eki so much. But Tyson Berry, this dude is a character. He's got a Volkswagen van named Pickle. Is that what I heard? Right?
I saw that.
Is that true?
They asked him what states bordered Tennessee. He said Oklahoma, Texas.
So Tyson, I'm not the best at geography either, so I don't blame you on this. But you forgot about that state called Arkansas that's between Oklahoma and Tennessee. But other than that, man, you came really close, and I got to give you an A for effort. You just forgot about Arkansas, man. It's okay. We all forget about Arkansas.
Been living in Canada. He's like,
and Lazon's on a pair with Cal Foote, who's also playing tonight, and Saros in goal.
We got some great names on this team too. I mean, Foote is a great name. Fabro is a great name. I mean, come on now.
Fute.
No,
Fute and lasagna. You can make that sound really exotic.
Obviously,
sounds like a new dish at a fine dining restaurant.
Fute.
Try the Fute lasagna on special tonight.
The foot lasagna, gross.
With a glass of our finest Pinot Noir.
Our finest glass of. Never mind, it's gross.
All right,
never mind.
Fute lasagna.
No Carrier. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, broken collarbone.
He got broken again with a shot to the collarbone by the puck. It looked pretty ugly. McDonough got hit in the face.
Yeah, he had a heck of a shiner.
That dude,
got a
man,
shiner on him.
His face is like a magnet for pucks because he got hit the other night too, I think.
He got a metal plate in it at the beginning of the season.
Oh man.
This guy, Ryan McDonough, stays blocking shots. He doesn't care. He'll put his body out there. But it's not just McDonough. That's kind of this entire team is taking on this mentality.
That's why
the Fords do it. The Fords do it. No one is below doing it. They all do it. And that's something you can really respect about this team. And the fact that it's a younger team that's still taking on that mentality is pretty awesome to see. So we're getting ready here. Preds versus the Canucks. This is episode 176 of Catfish on Ice. I updated it up top. I had 175 still up there.
I was a little confused for a second, but I'm good now.
Hey, everybody. When you get this high up in the episodes, you start forgetting what episode you're on. I'll be totally honest.
Coming up on a big milestone, boys.
Yeah, if we can make it there, we'll make it to 200. We'll see we'll see. That'll be after the offseason if my math is correct and the calendar is correct. So. But either way. Let's unpack this matchup with the Canucks, guys. First of all, what are your overall feelings coming out of the win over the Blackhawks? It was very it's one of those games where it wasn't entertaining, it wasn't very pretty. But it was kind of a matchup of two teams playing a lot of their AHL players who are the future. So it was a battle of AHL players playing each other. Of course, Saros is in net. What did you guys take away from that game?
First off, Florida wasn't playing any of their AHL players, were they?
Exactly. That was a great. Hey guys,
that was a good game.
Okay, yeah. Well, if we want to go all the way, first of all, before we unpack the Chicago game, because we haven't done an episode since the Florida game either, so we have two games to really talk about here. The Florida game, Preds are very lucky to get out of that game alive. The Panthers were all over that zone.
They were.
First of all, shout out to the Florida Panthers fans. Very classy fan base. The lower bowl definitely packed in. They were very knowledgeable. They were very welcoming. I actually got lucky enough to sit next to some Predators fans who were from the town that I grew up in and went to high school in. Like, how crazy is that for that to happen? So I chatted with fellow Preds fans throughout the entire game, which was fun. But I was sitting plenty of Panthers fans. They just have fun. Like it's nothing like a Bridgestone Arena atmosphere. Nothing like it. There were even Panthers fans I was talking to who had been to Preds games before in Nashville, and they were even admitting, they were like, yeah, this is nothing like Bridgestone Arena.
That's weird.
So it's not the same it's not the same atmosphere, but I got to give a shout out to their fans. They were very accommodating, very welcoming, very cool. So
that's awesome. I'm glad you had a good time.
As for the game itself, the Predators had no business winning that game.
They did
the
not.
Panthers, their timing was off a lot of times when they were in the zone trying to score. Lankinen was obviously outstanding. There were some block shots. The Preds blocked a lot of shots. I'll have to go back and look it up, but I remember it being an insane number of shots that the Preds blocked in that game.
Yeah.
I'll go back and find it here. But it was one of those games, 28 block shots for the Preds in that game, 28 blocks. Yeah. So it was one of those games where you're very fortunate to get out of that game with the win. The Blackhawks game lulled you to sleep. It lulled me to sleep at least.
Yeah, a little bit. I did notice one good thing with the changing of the guard, so to speak, with the direction they're going in. The Predators seem to be skating a little faster. They're playing a little more fast-paced game. I don't know if you guys noticed that or not. It seems like the youngsters are using their youth and speed to their advantage, which is good. I like that. I mean, they're still going to make mistakes, and they did make some mistakes, but it's kind of good to go back to that faster game. I kind of enjoy that for sure.
I couldn't agree more with Rich. And just seeing them go up and down the ice and actually make
hockey plays.
They weren't chasing; they were driving.
Yeah.
We've watched a whole lot of chasing and watching over the years, so it was nice to see.
It is good to see. You can tell that some of the guys played together in Milwaukee. You can tell they have a little bit of chemistry, which is good. I mean, overall, I think they said it on the broadcast, like when they got rid of Ekholm on the Chris Mason said it, they're playing with house money. There's no expectations now. They can just let it all hang out and just play their game. They don't have to worry about much of anything really. It would be nice to make the playoffs, but if they don't, hey, they're retooling. So
they're definitely playing a more loose and free game right now.
Yep.
And honestly, nobody can really say much about them anyway at the moment because look who all they're missing.
Yeah.
Even without the trade deadline. You're missing Philip Forsberg, Phil Tomasino. You're missing Juuso Parssinen. You're missing Carrier.
Ryan Johansson.
You're missing dang near a whole team. I mean, good
for sure.
Lord, you're
I think that's a good point, Kyle. Yeah, if you think about it, just not even including. So first of all, the 4 players they traded away: Tanner Jeannot, Mikael Granlund. These guys, Matthias Ekholm, these guys, Nino Niederreiter, these guys were crucial parts of the penalty kill. All 4 of them. So my thing was, what is the penalty kill going to look like with these 4 guys no longer on the team? And you're seeing Kiefer Sherwood out there. You're seeing Mark Jankowski out there. You're seeing these blue-collar guys getting elevated minutes, getting more playing time. Then you see Luke Evangelista getting called up.
I like that kid.
Just really
Luke
cool stuff.
Luke is going to be something special.
Guys, he is so outsized out there. It's not even funny how outsized he is, but he does not shy away from it. As long as he can stay focused and stay confident and continue to use these games here to grow his game for the future, he'll be fine. He's got the skills. You can see it. It's so obvious when you see him play. He's got the speed. He's got the vision. He's got the putt skills. He's going to have to work on his size a little bit because he's just undersized right now. So he's got to translate in these early games like a lot of players who get called up to the NHL, especially early, way earlier than they expected to be called up. There's going to be a transition period here.
Did you hear what he said about the hit on Malkin and what Trotz had told him before the game?
I didn't hear what Trotz said. I did not hear that, no.
He told him, don't let him think you're afraid of him.
Yep.
And he said, I just thought about Trotzy whenever I made that hit. And
boy, it was a good one, too.
Let's share some comments, guys. We got some comments coming up here. What do we got here? Well, let's check on these. A lot of comments coming. I couldn't find chat on TV at the Panthers game.
I couldn't either.
Well,
I was trying to find you too.
Guys, I was about 12 rows up, lower bowl. I was on the side that the Preds were attacking for periods 1 and 3. I don't know what angle the TV was. I don't know if you guys can remember, but I got to see the Preds attack for the first and third period.
Oh, so you were on the shoot twice side.
Yes.
Twice. That's good.
Very good seats. Very, very amazing seats.
And how much were they?
I got them on SeatGeek for like $28 after taxes. I think they were $39.
That's funny.
It's so depressing.
Yeah.
Now it was $16 for a beer. It was $15 for the worst chicken quesadilla I ever ate in my life. But you deal with that. Oh yeah, here's another thing. I'm not disparaging the Florida Panthers arena. Like that's every hockey arena or every sporting arena for that matter. But I do gotta say something else. If you do go to a Panthers game, do not pay the $35 to park at the arena. There's a big old shopping mall right across the street that you can park at for free. I'm not letting the cat out of the bag here because everybody does it. I was scared to death I was going to get towed, and I'm asking all these. It's really confusing to find the arena. It's nothing like Nashville where there's all this stuff around it. And you just walk around. No, this arena is like tucked away on the edge of the Everglades National Nature Preserve. Like it's nothing like you would expect. It's not in the middle of some sprawling city or anything. But
I've heard it was like out in the middle of nowhere.
I mean, it's not in the middle of nowhere. There's like stuff around it, but it's just nothing. It's not like walkable. You're not going to like bar hop afterwards or go to restaurants and walk around. It's nothing like that. But which might be why their attendance is not so great. But yeah, you park at a big old shopping mall basically, and you make like a 20-minute walk across the street into the complex that has the arena. So yeah,
that's cool.
Kind of weird. Kind of weird. I'm just glad my car was still there when I left the game because I was thinking how am I going to get back to St. Petersburg if my car is towed after this?
That would be
horrible. You might have had to show some leg.
Well, guys, I have a big old Preds decal in the back of my window on my car, so I was sticking out like a sore thumb.
If you'd have been in any other place, they'd have busted your glass out.
If you were in Chicago, the thing would have been sitting on the brake calipers or the roof.
And the window would busted out.
Luckily, Panthers fans don't really care too much about Predators fans. It's not really a rivalry, so I think I was safe.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of Preds fans. Like I said earlier, there was a lot of Preds fans. Guys, I got to adjust my TV here because this game is about to start. We're going to at least do live game reaction to open this game. That's why I'm plopped up here in the living room on the couch because I got to have a bird's eye view of this game as we're doing this episode.
You do that and we'll do some hellos to people. So
yeah, there you go.
Lindsay's here. We said hello to her. Hello, Lindsay. Lindsay also says congrats to Kyle. Back-to-back wins for the fantasy hockey. I came in fourth. So CJ wound up beating me out for third place. So Johnny's here. Predemption. Sorry I'm late. No worries at all. Who else we have? Mike Twitter's in here. We were talking about nicknames for Jeremy Lazan, and I remember Tyson Berry saying this one, Garfield.
Yes.
Lasagna. That's pretty good. What else? Everybody up to? So that should catch us up. So yeah, there you go.
So we gotta address this. So Catfish on Ice Fantasy Hockey League is officially done for a second season, and we have a 2-time back-to-back champion to open this league. I'm instantly thinking, didn't the Green Bay Packers win the first 2 Super Bowls? So you're basically the Green Bay Packers of the.
Way to bring me down, Chad. Way to bring me down.
Oh wait, you're a Bears fan. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah,
the Bears.
Yeah, what a kick in the shin.
Right.
I see how it is, guy.
Kyle Perkins is totally the Green Bay Packers of the Catfish and Ice Fantasy Hockey League. He has won the first 2 championships. He is the dynasty that we all have to dethrone. Let me tell you, so I knew it was the championship. I knew going into Sunday, you can only pick up 4 players throughout the week. 4 players, and then you're done. So going into Sunday, I was within 20 points of you, Kyle. I was like right there. I felt like all I needed Andre Vasilevsky, who started on Sunday, to have – hey, you quit laughing, Rich.
That didn't happen.
I needed Andre Vasilevsky to have himself a really good game against the Hurricanes, which was a tall order. The Lightning have been they've been wet in the bed bad lately. I don't know what's wrong with them. People are freaking out down here in my neck of the woods over that. But I'm sure Rich loves that. Yeah, but so he got me like 1 point. So that screwed me bad. But even before that happened, I went and picked up Jake Allen. I went and looked on the waiver wire. I had 1 player I could pick up. And I looked and saw which goalies were starting on Sunday. This was like my Hail Mary half-court shot. And I went with Jake Allen because, hey, you're scraping at the bottom of the barrel at this point for goalies. I go with Jake Allen of the Canadians. I think they were playing the Vegas Golden Knights, and he didn't do anything for me either. So, Kyle Perkins, congratulations. You are the 2-time champ.
Thank you.
Good on you, sir.
Remind everyone who was on your team. Who were your breadwinners? Who won it for you?
Mika Zibanejad. I had Shesterkin and Hellebuck, Roman Yossi, Bernsey from Carolina.
That worked out.
Rust from Pittsburgh, Kevin Fiala. I traded off a few guys, or I didn't trade off. I dropped a couple of guys there at the very end.
Yep.
But those guys were the main ones. Kind of lived and died off of Mika. He was kind of the lockdown. Larkin from Detroit. It was a very blue collar team, but they just produced every week.
So
very consistent point scoring.
I was doing really good until the trade deadline popped up, and they sat. I had Timo Meyer, so he sat out.
That screwed me over too, though, Rich.
And then I had Patrick Kane, and he sat out for a long time. And then Taylor Hall got hurt. And then Rasmus Dahlin got hurt. I had him. And then I had Jack Campbell, and he pretty much sucks. So, I got kind of messed over at the trade deadline, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
So Eric Carlson saved my ass all season. He was on my team. He was my bell cow all year. Got me so many points. I lived and died by Andre Vasilevsky. He giveth and he taketh. He got me so many points.
He definitely tooketh the last game.
Another late season pickup that I think helped me at least get to the championship was definitely Michael Bunting of the Toronto Maple Leafs. I could not believe he was on the waiver wire when I picked him up at the time, and I needed a left winger. So he really got me to where I got. I had Matthew Tkachuk all year. He got me a ton of points. But overall, Kyle deserved it.
Yep.
It was a lot of fun. All right, as we're about to talk about this game with the Canucks, guys, what are your overall thoughts about this? I'll give you mine first. We always talk about trap game. It's a soft part of the schedule and whatnot. The Predators just played the Canucks not that long ago and beat them. You're looking at the playoff picture right now. There's 6 points behind a wild card spot. You got Colorado and Winnipeg trading that third place position right now on tiebreakers and point differential. So, whether it's Colorado, Winnipeg, it really doesn't matter. You're basically 6 points out of a wild card spot right now. So it's not like it's out of the realm of possibility here, guys. But you got to obviously win games like we're up against tonight against a Canucks team that is clearly packed it in, and they're not on that fence like we are right now. The Canucks are what they are. They are what they are.
Yeah.
The Predators aren't that. We don't know what the Predators are. We know that they're sellers, but they're still in that playoff window. It's so frustrating for a lot of people. Like, I get that, but the playoffs are still there. They're still realistically within reach.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, if they want to have any shot, they have to beat these, the Canucks and the Coyotes, which, but there's always that possibility that you're not going to beat them. And it could happen, but they seem to be playing really well. So I think anything's possible. It's going to be a little bit of a tall order once you get toward the end of the season and the end of this month. Really, there's a lot of good teams they're playing. So, yeah, I mean, I think if they make it to the playoffs with what all happened, I think it's just going to be extra icing on the cake for them with all the movement that we've had. So
have you ever seen the meme that's Ken Jeong from The Hangover, and he's in a sombrero in front of a blackboard, like leaned back with a bottle of tequila or something, saying "I'll allow it"?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So that is basically my feeling to whatever the Preds do the rest of the season.
For sure.
Hold up.
If they can. Go ahead.
I'm watching the Bally Sports broadcast right now. They do great work. We're watching along with all of our viewers tonight. So this is kind of like a mini watch along. We're not going to be here till the end of the game. Sorry, because we're in Eastern time zone and we got full-time jobs here, everybody. But we're going to stick around for as long as we can through this episode. But we're watching the Bally Sports broadcast right now with Willie Donick and Chris Mason. They do great work. They just shared a crazy stat that I did not realize. The Predators, I want you guys to be honest, tell me if you knew this or not. The Predators have the best power play in the NHL since February 18th.
Yeah, I saw them post that, and it's
really?
I mean, it's a short sample size, so let's keep it in perspective
know
here. But
that's not bad. It's a month
without Phil Forsberg and without Juuso Parssinen in the mix for a good chunk of that. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I did not know that. That is impressive to keep that up for a month.
It has looked better lately. It's definitely looked better
for sure.
All right, so we got the Canucks coming up here. The Canucks are always they're one of those teams. They got some guys who can score though. That's what scares me about the Canucks. So you can't take them lightly. I put them a peg ahead of the Blackhawks in terms of the NHL's worst teams out there. They're not as bad as the Blackhawks are, so you're going to have to bring a much better game than what you did against the Blackhawks. I felt like they sleptwalk a little bit. They were not. Their timing was off against the Blackhawks, and luckily they had better players than the Blackhawks. Simply as put, you got Roman Josi out there. You got better players in that game, and the talent overtook what the Blackhawks have. But it wasn't their best performance. It was not. They just managed to win regardless of that. This game, it's going to take a little bit more. And we remember the last time they played the Canucks, that game got dicey.
It did.
Late.
Wasn't it? It went to a shootout, didn't it?
Yeah, they gave up a late lead, yeah.
That's right. That's right. I remember now. Yeah, I mean, if they want to have any chance of advancing, I mean, they just got to put, their best effort forward. I mean, there's nothing else they can do. Just play. You got the players you got, and you gotta make it work. And just you need these points against these teams.
The Predators are going up against a very young goaltender tonight. I don't know a lot about him. I know, Kyle, that you follow the prospects a lot. Maybe you know a little bit about him. Arturs Silovs.
I do not know anything about him.
No, I don't either. No, he's only got 4 career games. I probably botched his name. I'm sorry, Arturs Silovs. Only 21 years old. 4 games in his NHL career, which have all come this season. Let's see. He made 32 saves against Boston on February 25th, which is pretty impressive against that Boston team. He's got wins over St. Louis and Philly. 3 of his 4 NHL games, he only gave up 2 goals. So I'm just saying. And the Predators know how. The Predators know how to make. Yeah, I think Rich is about to say it. Go ahead and finish it.
I was going to say they absolutely do not do well against unproven goaltenders. They know how to mess that up.
Sixth round pick by Vancouver in 2019, 156th overall. So we'll see. We're gonna get to know a new goaltender tonight. So that'll be interesting to watch for sure. And if you're looking over the Canucks lineup here, they still got Brock Besser. Brock Besser was all over the trade speculation. He was even being linked to the Predators to some degree, but they still got Brock Besser, who's having a pretty bad year. That's why he was being shopped to begin with. So they got Brock Besser out there. They've got some guys. Pettersson is one of the most lethal scorers out there, even on a really bad Canucks team. Elias Pettersson has 78 points on the season. So
probably their best player.
Quinn Hughes is a decent player for sure. He's not bad. So Quinn Hughes has 54 assists on the season, guys.
Anthony Beauvillier.
What a ratio that is for Quinn Hughes. 5 goals, 54 assists.
That's crazy. Crazy.
They've got some offensive playmakers. So you don't want to turn this into a game where you got to get into a track meet with a team like the Canucks, because they can score. They're as bad as they are in the standings. They're one of the biggest disappointments in the league.
Mm-hmm.
They're still a team that scares me.
Don't leave Saros hung out to dry.
Well, that's a given.
Stop doing that.
But very true.
We don't like that.
Very, very true. They've essentially just, what's going on with Thatcher Demko, guys? Have you guys heard about what's going on with him? Have they just decided that this season's a lost cause and they're just benching him?
It looks like it if they're starting that guy you said, who I can't pronounce his name.
That guy you said. The disrespect. Okay, wait a minute.
I'm sorry.
Right. No, Demko played March 4th, so they haven't just shelved
Artur
him.
Silovs.
No, all right. So yeah, Demko played March 4th, so he's back in the mix now. So the Predators are just lucky that they're not having to face him tonight.
Yeah, they've got 4 goaltenders. It's crazy.
Demko made 37 saves in a win over Toronto on March the 4th. So the Predators are pretty lucky that they're not facing Thatcher Demko tonight, if I must say.
Yeah. He's a big old boy.
All right, so the game is underway. We're in the first couple minutes of regulation. Preds and Canucks. Preds they have the late night game here tonight. We will stay up as long as we can as we give you episode 176 of Catfish on Ice with Chad Minton, Rich Howe, and Kyle Perkins, brought to you by DraftKings, promo code THPN. Follow us on Twitter at Catfish Ice and subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can see it right below there. We appreciate that. We got some more comments rolling in as the game is underway. And for everyone who's watching live right now on YouTube and Twitter, comment on the game. Tell us what you're seeing right now. Tell us what is standing out. This is what we love to do during these live game reaction episodes, is we love to hear the viewers and the listeners tell us what they're seeing in the game as it's happening right now. So we will continue to follow those comments
for sure
as we get into episode 176 of Catfish on Ice. Let's break down in our opening face-off the trade deadline recap, guys. I want to go to Rich first. We know all the trades they made. The dust has settled. I want to get your overall thoughts, Rich, and then we'll go to Kyle on the same question. Do you feel like this team accomplished their overall objective of resetting, as David Poyle calls it?
I really feel that they did. I think they did a good job. As much as we hate to see some of our favorite guys leave, obviously Ekholm, that one hurts. He's been with them forever for his whole career. And Nino Niederreiter, I was really hoping that would work out because I really liked him. But you got to do what you got to do, and I think they did something they haven't had to do for a really long time, and it actually seems like it's energizing the fan base. Everybody seems excited with what's going on and the future, and we get to see these young guys play, which is something else everybody wanted. I don't want to see them. There will be no tanking for sure. These guys are going to put their every effort into winning these games as they should. And I mean, I think it looks really good. I like where the direction they're going. And it's exciting. I mean, I hate to see them lose games, which they're probably gonna, but down the road, it'll be for the better. So,
yeah. It was so weird seeing Matthias Ekholm in a Oilers jersey. Kyle, are you muted, man?
While he's fixing that, did you see Tanner Jeannot knock that dude out in his first game?
I did. That was pretty awesome.
That highlight? Holy.
Yeah, that was
holy.
Yeah. He is introducing himself to the Tampa Bay Lightning fan base for sure. Whew. So, Rich, I got to ask you, I know you can't stand the Tampa Bay Lightning, but do you like them a little bit more at least now that they have Tanner Jeannot? Just a little bit?
I like Victor Hedman.
Okay. Oh, wait. All right, so the Predators just gave up a really, really juicy chance, but they blocked the shot. This game is going – there's a lot of open ice in this game right now early on. We're only 4 minutes into the game, and the Canucks are out here buzzing. The Canucks aren't going to lay down. That's something that I have said earlier today. In the NHL, teams don't just lay down just because they're way out of it and they have nothing to play for in the standings like you might say the Canucks are. NHL players are very, very stubborn. They're not going to lay down. They don't care where they're at in the standings. They want to win. So you got a team like the Canucks who got some players.
Mm-hmm.
And just like that, Elias Pettersson, just as I'm saying that, Elias Pettersson puts the Canucks up. That was a snipe.
Man. That was a good goal. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
We can hear you now. Let's break. Let's what? All right, I got to see this replay. Where was the breakdown here?
I'm watching on my pocket screen, so I can't see it real well.
That's a product of getting beaten down the ice,
and a product of the dude that's got a very fast shot.
Wait a minute, did that cross the yellow line or the red? Yeah, it did. Wow, what a snipe! Yeah, it looked like it almost looked like it. It almost looked like it dinged off the crossbar.
Oh, it did, didn't it?
It barely crossed. That was quick, though.
Yep. That dude has a wicked shot, man. Very fast.
It seems like, they're not going to even challenge that. But it happened so fast in real time. The Predators actually started skating back up the ice thinking it hit the crossbar.
Yeah.
Definitely a defensive breakdown in the neutral zone there, and you can't do that. And we said it before the opening puck drop. Before the opening puck drop, we literally said that. We said that the Canucks have some players who can burn you. Elias Pettersson's one of them. He scores in the first 5 minutes of the game. So,
well, guess what? Guess what's going to happen? Watch this.
How far behind are we? Holy crap!
Yeah, very well. The person who both of these guys. So Johnny lives there or close to there. He is like right there, and then Mike Twitter's watching it, and like I'm like totally behind. He's like 40 seconds ago. Johnny was like, "Sisson's tied it." So it's like,
that's why you go to the net right there.
Predemption says, I am blowing Rich's mind, aren't I?
Yeah. This is funny. It's so cool.
Exactly why you always go to the net, because of goals like that.
Yep. There you go.
That's kind of how this Preds team has to score. I mean, they're not going to be the flashy scoring team. We've known that all year. Now they've gotten younger. They've got some more offensively skilled players now with these younger kids that are playing, but they're still a team that has to drive the net, create rebounds, create chaos in front of the goaltender, win those puck battles. That's how it's going to work. Colton Sissons, man, he's been the stoic veteran leader of this team lately.
He's got an A now.
Yep. And he deserves
a very well-deserved A.
Yep.
All right, as we continue to watch, all right, the Canucks are going to the penalty box. Preds are going to the power play. We just mentioned that the Preds have one of the hottest power plays in the league since mid-February. So let's see what they do here. Hey, it was still a cool stat, all right? Don't steal my joy. But let's see what Tyson Barrie does out here. I mean, I really want to see how he changes this power play. I know that everyone's saying, "Oh, well, it's easy to be good on the power play when you have Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl." I get that, but I still want to see what he can do because the dude zips around, man. He's fast.
Tyson Barrie, noted geographer.
Yeah, Oklahoma borders Tennessee, guys. All right, here we go. Oh, I like what they're doing here on the power play early on. They got zone time. They're setting up. Yossi's quarterbacking it. There's no reason in this game that the Predators shouldn't be able to score 4 or 5 goals.
Yep.
And that's not just because of the goaltender they're up against. That's no disrespect to the goaltender. I'm just saying
they should be able to do that.
You should be able to do it. You should be able to get 4 or 5 goals in this game.
Johnny says that Colton Sissons is from Vancouver, so it's a hometown.
Nice little nugget. All right, gentlemen. So let's
as well, and so is Johansson.
Who'd you say?
Fabro and Johansson.
Oh, Fabro is too.
All right, we got Tyson Barrie bringing the puck up the ice now on the power play. We got about 30 seconds left on it. They're trying to get some zone time. They're trying to get set up. You know, here's another thing. With all these new players, even the players who are prospects and been in the system for a while and maybe have played within this system for a little bit, you got so many guys trying to get used to playing with each other right now.
Yeah. That's
and
true.
I know that a lot of them did play with each other at Milwaukee. I get that, but it's going to take some time for everyone to get on the same page here. You reshuffled the deck completely.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, just look at the lines that we talked about earlier, man. It's like crazy. Yeah. You'd have told me at the beginning of the season that's what it would look like now, I would have been like, you're crazy.
It makes it fun to watch, though, and I think that's why the fan base is so energized right now, is they're seeing all these new players in the lineup, and it feels like a breath of fresh air right now. Even though some of these players aren't the most talented, they're not the most decorated. It's like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, but you got your, Parsonen and Tomasino and Novak, and Glass has obviously been up there a long time, but everybody's been wanting those young guys to play, and that's what they're finally getting to see. And I think that's why everybody's excited.
Ooh, bad turnover there by the Preds. All right, as we continue to do this, we're about to really discuss and break down the path to the playoffs for the Predators. Do we think they can actually pull it off? Because it's still possible, of course. We're gonna continue to break down the trade deadline recap, talk about some of these players that came in. Also, we got some NHL quick hitters to talk about. NHL expansion is back on the talking points here, with Houston and Atlanta being brought up as 2 possible cities. Are we really going to bring back the Atlanta Thrashers?
What about Louisville?
The Thrashers?
The Thrashers,
So,
yeah. I wonder if they'll go with that name.
They better. That'd be amazing. But yeah, so you got Houston, Atlanta being brought up. We are going to also update our Stanley Cup final predictions, see if we're going to move it all on our original predictions. We've done this a couple times this year.
And if
See if
we don't all pick the same one, there's something very wrong with all of us.
All right. Let's see. All right.
Yeah. We'll talk about
Before we do that, before we continue to watch this game here, let me tell you about DraftKings. DraftKings is the official sponsor of the Hockey Podcast Network and Catfish on Ice podcast. Follow them at HockeyPodNet. So many amazing podcasts on the Hockey Podcast Network to follow. If you're a fan of multiple teams, you got multiple podcasts you should be listening to. And DraftKings is the sponsor of the network with promo code THPN. Also, I know we got multiple sports fans out there who don't just watch hockey. They're into all the sports. And also, the NBA season right now is heating up as well. NBA fans, it's time to bring the hoops action to the palm of your hand with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. This week, new customers can bet $5 and win $200 in free bets instantly. Plus, for a limited time, all new and existing customers can get a no-sweat same-game parlay every day. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app today, opt in, and place a same-game parlay on any NBA game. And if it doesn't hit, you'll get a free bet back. Right now, if you are an NBA fan and also a hockey fan, you're like in overload mode right now. You got so much to follow because the seasons run like parallel to each other. So both leagues are like gunning for the playoffs. So if you've got an NBA team that's in the playoff hunt, and let's say you're a Predators fan as well, you got a lot to deal with right now. Because both leagues are getting ready to go into the playoffs. Plus, you got March Madness as well going on, which I would not call myself a college basketball expert, but I love March Madness. I love picking the brackets and just seeing how I do. So that's coming up as well. So there's tons of sports going on right now is what we're trying to tell you. And DraftKings Sportsbook is the place to be for that. So download the app now and sign up with code THPN. New customers can bet $5 on the NBA and get $200 in free bets instantly only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA with code THPN. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. Void in Ohio. See show notes below for details. If you have a gambling problem and need gambling assistance, we have phone numbers you can call and places you can get support on that. All right, we are about halfway through the first period. It's 1-1 between the Predators and the Canucks. The Preds have only given up 2 shots on goal to the Canucks so far. Unfortunately, one of those ended up as an Elias Pettersson goal, which was a snipe in
that's what he does.
Every definition of the term, it was a snipe.
That's how he rolls.
That is how he rolls. All right, guys, let's really talk about the path to the playoffs. Let's look at the schedule here. I put out a tweet today. I want to see if you guys agree with me on this. I went out and I looked at their remaining schedule, including this game tonight. They got 22 games left. All right. And they're 6 points out. So easily you can make that up, especially when you look at the games in hand that they have over all the teams ahead of them in the standings. Here's how I broke it down. And this is nothing scientific about this. You can totally disagree with me on this. This is just how I feel about it. Out of the 22 games remaining, including tonight's game, I pegged 5 that should be wins, like locks, like you should win these games. Vancouver, which is who we're playing right now, Anaheim, Chicago, Arizona, and St. Louis. Before I get to the other games, do you agree with me, guys, that those should be 5 wins?
Should.
But
will they?
Will they? Well, let's see. The Canucks are 2 out of 3 tonight. They just went ahead 2-1. What is going on with this?
I don't know. Don't like it though. I mean, with the structure of the team now, I think every game is going to be a battle for them, no matter who it is. Some battles will be bigger than others, but I just don't think it matters.
Okay, so this past Canucks goal they just scored, there were like 6 guys between Saros and the puck. There was no way.
Yeah, he was so screened that he had no hope of that one.
I mean, what a weird goal. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from the Canucks. That was a great team goal from the Canucks. They made like 5 or 6 passes to get to the guy who shot the puck. So that was great passing and structure by the Canucks in their zone. But you're talking about screening like 5 or 6 guys in front of Saros.
It also hit the bar and went in.
So the Predators are down 2-1 right now
on 3 shots.
Not looking good.
No.
A lot of hockey left though. A lot of hockey.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah. But like I said though, I think just every game is going to be a battle that they're going to have to overcome. There's none of them are going to ever. I mean, none of them are easy to begin with, but the ones they should win, they still have to, get the job done.
Another turnover in the zone, but luckily McDonough has a poke check that stops the shot. But yeah, the Preds look discombobulated right now. They're having trouble breaking out of the zone. They're having trouble setting up. We see this almost every game. They go through these spats where they just can't get set up. They can't get organized. And unfortunately, right now, they're kind of dealing with that. So they got to weather the storm. There's a lot of hockey left. But yeah, the Canucks are putting it to them. So I'm still going to hold to it. Including this game, I said there were 5 should-be wins left on their schedule. I said there were 5 toss-ups. Detroit, Winnipeg. They played Winnipeg twice. So I counted that as 2 matchups against Winnipeg. I counted as a toss-up. Calgary, who the Preds have jumped ahead in the standings.
Yeah.
And I'll count the Pittsburgh game, the Pittsburgh rematch. I'll count as a toss-up.
Pittsburgh's fighting to stay where they're at.
The East is so rough,
isn't it?
It is.
I mean,
where is Pittsburgh?
The other 12 games outside of those 10, I got the Preds as underdogs, if not heavy underdogs, in all of those games.
Yeah,
you're about to get through the soft part of your schedule here, and it's going to be every matchup is going to be a team that you're probably the heavy underdog in.
Yeah,
and I think that's why a lot of people don't have faith, and I think that's why the odds are so low.
Mm-hmm.
When in terms of the Preds making the playoffs, is when you look at their remaining schedule. I know it seems kind of soft. The math doesn't add up. They're going to have to pull off a lot of upsets down the stretch.
Yeah, and the end of March turns ugly. Seattle's playing really well. They have to play them twice. Buffalo, Toronto, Boston. I mean, yeah, those will be big, huge upsets if they can beat those guys for sure. Pittsburgh's in second wildcard spot in the East, and they're only up by like 3 points. So they're going to be all guns blazing, I'm sure. And Malkin's probably going to go try to
murder Evangelista.
Hurt Evangelista because he's that type of player.
And Evangelista, he's got a target on him because he's a rookie and he's undersized.
Mm-hmm.
These veterans, they're going to come after him. That's what they do. It's a rite of passage. When you're a rookie, an NHL rookie, especially an undersized NHL rookie, you got a target on your back. You do. So I think he's handled it very well in his first few games. Evangelista, he's handled it very well. He plays with confidence. He's going to be fine, but it's good. Translating that to the NHL is going to take some time. It's not going to happen overnight, even with all of his talent.
Yep. He has done well, though. He's fun to watch for sure. And then if you look
so a lot, I want to say something. So a lot of people are saying they don't even want the Predators to make the playoffs because of draft positioning and, we're just going to get roasted in the first round anyway, and I don't want to see that. But it's like, don't you always want to see your team win? That's just, I'm old. Maybe I'm just old school. Maybe I'm in the minority here. Maybe I'm the one that's in the wrong here. But I always want to see my team win. I'm a big fan of what they've done this year in the trade deadline.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All 4 of the trades they made, I am a huge fan. I think that on paper, on the onset, it looks like a win for the organization. Obviously, you can't say for sure who won a trade until years and years down the road. But on the forefront, all 4 of the major trades they made look really good for the organization. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I still want to see this team win. I still want to see them make the playoffs. I think it'd be a super cool story to see a team full of young players who are getting all this playing time to get a playoff series. Yep. Does that mean I think they're going to win a Stanley Cup and go deep, or maybe not? They might have to play, Dallas in the first round or Vegas or one of those teams, and they might have to deal with another sweep just like last year. That might happen, but I don't care. I still want to see this franchise make the playoffs. I still want to see them win. Mm-hmm. I think it'd be a really, really cool story.
It would, and you get some experience, playoff experience for the young guys, which would be good. I'm always in favor of them winning no matter what. And even if you do finish lower, you're still not guaranteed that spot, that number 1. There's a chance.
Even outside even outside of the number 1, to play devil's advocate on that, the draft class looks really, really strong this year. It's not just Connor Bedard here. Yeah. The whole top part of the draft class looks really, really good. So if you're picking in the top 10 of the draft, odds are you're going to get yourself a really, really good offensive prospect. Almost all of the top part of your draft class this year are wingers or centers. Mm-hmm. Like no defensemen. It's all wingers and centers. So I get that line of thinking. You don't want to ruin your draft position, but as a fan, I'm always going to want to see my team win. I don't care. Yeah. That's just how I'm wired.
No matter what.
Here's my thought on that. I think none of us wanted to watch them either spend picks or prospects to run it back with the same old core yet again.
No.
And I think that was really the big problem everybody had with going into the trade deadline. It's like, we're going to stand pat. We're going to make the first round. It's going to be the same story with the same players over and over again, and nothing ever changes. And now we have this ragtag little group of AHL players and acquisitions from trading off our better players, and it's kind of like, screw it. Yep. If they can make the playoffs, awesome, and we'll cheer for them when they're in the playoffs. But if they miss the playoffs, it's not the end of the world. It's like a big burden of stress off the fan base as well.
Yeah,
I totally agree with that. Yeah. You're playing with house money. You really are.
For sure.
That was such a close chance. Evangelista almost scored, got his first NHL goal.
Oh, he got his first goal, didn't he?
No, he got his first point.
Got an assist.
Oh, I thought he got a goal.
Oh, man, so
he
close.
He almost scored against Chicago as well. He had an open net. Against Chicago, and he pushed it wide.
Yep.
By my count, I could be off, but by my count, he's had at least 2 really close chances to get his first goal. He is all over the net. He's all over the net. It's only a matter of time. Like he looks just as comfortable as Tomasino looked when he first got called up last year.
He's really impressing me. He
looks fine.
I was expecting him to struggle a lot more just on size.
It's the physical aspect of the game is what he's going to have to continue to get used to. I saw it a little bit in person when I was at the Florida Panthers game. Just in person, being up close, you could see that he is very undersized and he was getting pushed around a little bit. But what I love to see and what I saw in the Chicago game as well is he doesn't back down. He does not back down. He's very aggressive in his skating. He's got some really good puck skills. I saw that very clearly. He's going to be fine. He's got so many good traits already at this early stage in his development that now it just all has to round out. And it will. Over time, it will. I know there's a lot of Preds fans out there who are not optimistic at all, that are probably worried that John Hines is going to ruin him or the Predators system. The Predators curse of not being able to develop forwards is going to curse Evangelista like they did Tolvanen or Tomasino if they curse
We
Tomasino
don't say
as
his
well.
name around here, Chad. We're not ready yet.
Don't bring up that
well,
T-word.
I see that name more on Twitter than I do anything else in regards to the Predators. So you would think he was still on the team as much as I see it. But that's just being the pessimistic person here. So I think Evangelista is going to be fine, though. He looks fine.
Yep.
You're going to have to give it time.
He's feisty.
We got a delayed penalty coming up here on the Predators, so we'll see. They're still down 2-1. And they're having a hard time getting the puck back. They're scrambling, man. They're in scramble mode bad right now.
Can't handle the.
But you know that the Canucks, man, they're a lot like the Coyotes just because they're so far back in the standings, man. They're not a lame duck team.
Yeah, they're not going to lay down for anybody.
I mean, that was a pretty impressive win over the Maple Leafs in their last game. So they're an odd team. They're going to play spoiler down the stretch for sure. The Canucks are one of those teams that's going to play spoiler down the stretch. They only lost by 1 goal to Minnesota before they beat Toronto in their last game. They beat Dallas 5-4. I mean, come on, guys. Don't let the standings fool you here. Cal Foote takes the penalty, it looks like here. Yeah, for cross-checking.
I guess.
kind of a weak call.
That's weak.
Very weak.
Oh my gosh, that is ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know about
Ooh,
that.
Whatever. Okay.
Vancouver's a top 10 power play. You know, it's so weird that Vancouver is so far back in the standings. Like, they're one of those teams that you just feel like they should be way better.
Yep.
They're such a disappointment. Like, if you're a Canucks fan right now, you are so disappointed in how this season has gone. Yeah. Maybe more so than any other fan base in the league. I mean, can you guys find another team in the league where their fan base would be more disappointed in how this season has gone based on expectations? I don't know if I can find a team other than the Canucks.
Yeah, that's probably one of the main.
Maybe maybe the Islanders, but they still have a chance to make the playoffs. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. St. Louis,
maybe St. Louis. You can make an argument for St. Louis.
Yeah, they're not good either for some reason. Get rid of all their good guys, man. That's what happens.
Oh, here we go. Broken stick. Oh, Shorty. Can we do it? Nope. No. Close, though. Trennan is always on Shorty watch. He is always on the shorthanded goal watch.
It's so I mentioned he enjoys that thoroughly, I believe.
Yeah, well, he's got such a big body. He doesn't have a ton of speed.
That's what I was going to
say. He's like a bowling ball, man. It's just like try to stop him. You know, so I mentioned this in the pregame. I've been really interested to see what is this Preds penalty kill going to look like after trading away so many key parts to the penalty kill. Mm-hmm. You know, when you trade away Matthias Ekholm, Tanner Jeannot, Nino Niederreiter, and who am I leaving out? Oh, Mikael Granlund. Yeah, I keep leaving one out. All four of those guys played significant penalty kill minutes. So now you're seeing Mark Jankowski out there tonight. He's been playing some big PK minutes. Yakov Trenin is a big part of the PK. He was already a big part of the PK, but his minutes are growing. Cole Smith, is out there doing his thing. So it's tough, man.
Yep.
But they did a good job on that penalty kill. And now we are at the first intermission. The Preds trail 2-1 on that. Let's break down the trade deadline a little bit more. Kyle, I'm going to ask you first. What was the most significant move in your opinion, like as far as the overall outlook of this franchise? What was the biggest trade that you think is going to make the biggest long-term impact on this team?
Well, I mean, you got to look at the Jeannot trade because Tampa essentially gave you an entire draft class for Tanner Jeannot. And I'm a dyed-in-the-wool Tanner Jeannot fan, and I even say it was a bit excessive. That was a lot for Tanner.
I will agree 100% with what you said, and I was really shocked that they gave up what they gave up for
Tampa fans were losing it.
Yeah, for a player who, let's be honest, hasn't had a great season. Even though the whole team's struggling, he's not been great. He had a great season last year, but man, that's a huge haul for
Tampa. Tampa fans were losing their mind over it. They didn't understand.
I would too. I don't blame them. I would.
Not as bad as Pittsburgh Penguins fans were losing their minds over the Mikael Granlund. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I know it seems petty, but it's all in good fun. But sometimes I like to see what other fans are saying of other teams when this kind of stuff happens. And so
they straight up malfunctioned.
I'm not trying to be mean here. I like Mikael Granlund. He was a class act. He was great on the penalty kill. He did some good things here. He wasn't a complete bust, but he was the number one player that I wanted the Predators to trade through all of this. He was the one that I was seriously starting to doubt that they would be able to find a trade partner for. I just didn't see it. I didn't think they'd be able to find anybody. I really didn't. I thought, you know what? We're stuck with him for now. We'll ride with it, even though it's not matching. I don't see a team out there that's going to give the Predators what they really want to deal in. You get a second-round pick out of Granlund?
Same thing you got for Niederreiter. Yeah, who I think is a better player.
Their fans were losing their collective minds over it. I loved it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I'll take a second-round pick all day.
Second-round picks can't be anything. Look at Luke Evangelista. That's
even if you don't use the pick. You can use it as draft capital. In some shape or fashion. You can use it to trade up. It's in this year's draft though, so
for sure.
So let's look at the 2023 draft right now as it stands. Now, likely they're not going to use all of these picks. Most likely they're going to deal some of these picks away at some point. But you got 2 in the first round, 2 in the second round, 3 in the third round, 3 in the fourth round, 2 in the fifth round, 1 in the sixth round.
Yeah.
They traded away a 7th round pick for Rasmus Asplund, which we'll see how that works out from Buffalo. I didn't hate that move, honestly. I didn't see it coming, but I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it. It's a 7th round pick. You're acquiring a forward. Nothing wrong with that.
And he's playing.
He's giving you minutes right now. So I didn't mind that at all.
Yep.
They've got a boatload of draft picks. They've got 3 second-round picks in 2024 right now.
Yeah.
5 second-round draft picks in the next 2 drafts. So
I think they did. I think they accomplished exactly what they set out to do, and I think kudos to them. I mean, Poyle and obviously Barry Trotz had some say in it. I think he did what he needed to do, and they got a good return for what they gave up. And to get Tyson Barrie back, get him back from that was huge. I think that's another huge one right there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so that's actually the most impactful trade that I think came out of all this was the Matthias was the Matthias Ekholm trade, just because I think Tyson Barrie is a very much you don't know what he's going to be for the long-term future.
Yeah.
I feel like he could go one of two ways. He could end up sticking around here, or he could end up being a trade piece in the future. Either way, it benefits the franchise. It can end up being a good thing out of this Ekholm trade you have to have a lot to justify trading away a Matthias Ekholm.
Yeah, for sure.
And I truly feel that the Predators did what they had to do to justify trading away Matthias Ekholm.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, for such a good player to get what they got back from him is
the Oilers. The Oilers took the risk in this trade, not the Predators.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The Oilers, because they took on the term.
Mm-hmm.
They're banking on Matthias Ekholm being a key part of their Stanley Cup run this season and maybe next season. Maybe. Yep. I hope Matthias Ekholm can play forever. I love the guy.
Mm-hmm.
But you're basically banking on getting 2 good years out of him to push you towards the Stanley Cup. The Predators, they don't have to hold on to Tyson Barrie. They can use him in a trade next season if they have to, if they feel the need. Yeah. Or Tyson Barrie can work out and be a really big key part of this team to the point where they're like, oh, we'll keep this guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, you got an extra year of age on Ekholm. Barry's only 31. If he still keeps up his level of play, I mean, I wouldn't mind him hanging around for a while. Wouldn't hurt my feelings any, for sure.
And then
there's a lot worse options.
Yes, there are.
And you get the prospect Reed Schaefer, which the ceiling on him is pretty low, the buzz on him is pretty low. So we'll see if he can develop, be a piece for Milwaukee. Maybe they can work their magic in Milwaukee to develop him and see what he comes of that. But anytime you can get a prospect like that on top of Tyson Barrie, on top of the draft picks, it was very justified that you traded away Matthias Ekholm for that. Very justified.
Absolutely. Yep. We've seen it coming for a few years.
Yeah, poor Matthias. I felt so bad for him. Every trade
so awkward. Did y'all see he still had the Predators bag over his shoulder
when he came in? I saw that.
You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of a kid who had to transfer to a new school where he has no friends. Like a poor kid who went to this one school his whole life, had all these friends, and then his parents moved out of the zone, and he had to go to a new high school, and it's first day at his new school, and he has to make all these new friends, and he walks into his first day of school not knowing anybody. I felt like so bad for Matthias, and he still had his Preds bag on his shoulder. I was just like, no, Matthias.
It's like the rich kid in the Mighty Ducks.
That's what I was about to say. It's Banks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
It was, the more awkward introductory between Barrie and Ekholm, it was Barrie by far.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Those guys are like, I've known Matthias Ekholm for.
Who's this guy? Who are you, Tyson?
Who are you?
You've got 2 first names. I don't like you.
That's right. Don't trust anybody with 2 first names.
You're no Matthias.
Yeah, for sure. That's hilarious.
Not even right. Not even fair. But so watching the playoffs is going to be interesting. Watching former Preds play.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be scattered all across the playoff landscape just from this season alone.
Yep.
I'm about to bring up the T word. I'm sorry, guys, but I have to. Tolvanen on Seattle. Niederreiter on Winnipeg, I guess. Has he even played a game for them yet? Niederreiter?
Yeah.
Did he make his debut yet?
Pretty sure.
So, but I'm not
Ekholm's going to be playing for Edmonton. Janot's going to be playing for Tampa. We'll see if Pittsburgh makes the playoffs. I'm not sure about that one. But either way, let's say the Preds don't make the playoffs, guys. Are you going to hitch your wagon to one of these teams that these traded away players went to?
There's only one other team I'm hitching my wagon to, boys.
I mean,
we already knew
that's
that
the most successful wagon. If there ever was a wagon.
But to be fair, Rich is not a bandwagon jumper. He's been supporting Boston for a while, so I got your back on that one, Rich.
But not more than the Predators.
Our good friend Liz. What's up, Liz? Liz says Nino's first game as a Jet was earlier tonight. He scored.
Wow, that's crazy that it was just tonight.
All right, so everyone who's updating us every day on how good Ellie Tolvanen is can now start giving us daily Nino Niederreiter updates.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I'm glad Nino was here. That he got to play the games in Switzerland. He got to have that experience with his family. So I'll support Nino. He seems like a great dude. So no problems with Nino. I'm going to pull for Seattle. But can we talk for a second about what the crap Pittsburgh is doing? Pittsburgh is doing what everybody was afraid Nashville was going to do.
Yeah.
They're grasping at straws for a core that is no longer good enough to win a cup.
Yeah, for sure.
They're hanging on to that Crosby, Malkin, Letang. Yep. They're hanging on to that core as long as they can. They're clearly not a cup contending team. Not in the East.
No.
The East, if they somehow sliver in, that's a really good point you make, Kyle. Because if they somehow sliver into the playoffs in the East,
they're going to get ran.
They're kind of in a weird way the Preds of the East last year. Like as far as a team that, good job. Here's a cookie. You made the playoffs. You're going to get reamed by whoever you play in the first round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. Because the East is so stacked, it's ridiculous. Like it's I can't even get over how crazy the East is.
Yeah. It's
every team that loses in the first round of the Eastern Conference playoffs is going to be a really, really good team.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. As it stands right now, Pittsburgh would play Carolina. Is that right? No.
Carolina, at minimum, Carolina would win that in 5. At minimum. Maybe sweep them.
Or it might be Boston. It's probably Boston. It would be Boston.
Boston would sweep Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it would be
I'll give Pittsburgh one game in any series just because they still got the veteran. They still got Crosby. They still got the guys. Tristan Jerry can sometimes steal you a game. I'll give them one game, but they're not. They have no business being in the playoffs. I want to see Buffalo in the playoffs over Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think Buffalo's got a better chance.
Buffalo's way more fun to watch.
Buffalo's got a fighter's chance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Give me Buffalo to sneak in the East over Pittsburgh any day. I'm not even trying to sound biased here.
Yeah.
Right now, your two wild card teams in the East are the Islanders and the Penguins. The Islanders have really resurrected their season. They were way down there.
Yeah,
that's way down there.
Weird. Yeah, that's really strange.
Look at this. Look at this, guys. It's going to be fun to watch this race for the wild card in the East. You got 4 teams tied at 68 points to get into the wild card behind Pittsburgh. Ottawa, Buffalo, Florida, Washington.
And Detroit's only 6 points back.
Yeah, so the East
and Detroit's not a pushover. So
no, they're not a pushover. So the East is going to be really fun to watch. The East, we're going to have to keep our eye on the East, whereas the West, it's kind of starting to take shape here. Really, Nashville and Calgary are the last two teams that have a thread.
Yeah.
Other than that, your playoff teams are set in the West, with the exception of Calgary and Nashville just clinging on. I said earlier that Nashville jumped ahead of Calgary, but Calgary jumped back ahead by a point. I guess, did Calgary play tonight? Yeah. Calgary beat Dallas in regulation tonight. Wow.
Yeah, Johnny said earlier they scored with 0.7 seconds left or something.
Wow.
Crazy.
Okay.
5-4 regulation loss for Dallas.
New member of the Dallas Stars, Max Domi, scored.
Oh, there you go.
He left Chicago. He was another late season pickup for my fantasy hockey team that ended up getting benched. Remember, Rich, you were upset about all your players getting benched for the trade deadline.
Oh, you had
it burned me against Kyle in the championship round because Domi didn't play all week because of that.
Yeah, I had like 3 guys in that boat. Did not like it.
The Sharks beat the Jets in overtime, so that's good for the Predators. If you're scoreboard watching,
I think
Oilers beat
some of that too.
Oilers beat the Sabres. Blackhawks are beating the Senators 5-0. That's pretty surprising.
What in the world?
They're just
I know.
whooping up on them.
The Sens aren't supposed to be rebuilding anymore, too.
Yeah, exactly.
They were actually buying at the deadline.
Yep.
So the Jets get an overtime point, so they jump back into third place and knock Colorado back to the final wild card spot. But Colorado has 3 games in hand over Winnipeg. Nashville, including tonight, has 4 games in hand on Winnipeg. So Winnipeg's kind of in trouble right now. They're the team that's really like treading water. If anyone's going to fall out of it, it's going to be Winnipeg at this point.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we are going to round out with some NHL quick hitters. NHL quick hitters. Did you guys see the article about NHL expansion?
I did. So weird. So strange. Like, they don't even, like, the NHL doesn't even know who's going to be there doing their games for regional sports. And they're like, there's talk of it expanding the league.
But yeah, you got like the regional sports networks going bankrupt, and you're like trying to scramble to figure out how normal fans are going to get to watch your product. Yeah,
let's introduce a whole other 2 other teams. Yeah, I don't know. That's weird.
So there's nothing set in stone here. Like, no one's confirmed like for sure this is happening, but basically what they're saying is some prominent figures in the media are hinting that 2 new expansion teams are coming to the NHL, and Houston's always been brought up as the next expansion site because it's such a big market, and you could have a natural rivalry with the Dallas Stars, but I don't like it. I've never liked Houston as an expansion site.
Yeah, it seems weird. I don't know. Yeah.
I think you're oversaturating the market at that point.
Yeah,
2 teams in Texas. I don't know, man. I don't like it.
I mean,
I could be wrong, but
playing devil's advocate, they could always say we've got 2 teams in Alberta.
But it's Canada though, man. They live and eat and breathe hockey.
I know. I'm telling you what the counter argument's going to be.
And you're wearing those glasses, and you look way smarter than me tonight. With those glasses
studious.
You're studious.
Studious cop.
I would.
Studio.
Why can't they put a team back in Hartford? That's what I don't understand.
I think they should put a team. I would like Hartford. I think that it would be really cool to see another team go in Canada. Another expansion team in Canada would be cool.
Yeah. I mean,
they should put a team in Chicago.
Oh.
So what about bringing back the Atlanta Thrashers?
I don't like it. I don't know. I'd rather
because that's the other expansion site they're talking about here in this article.
I would rather it be Hartford and Carolina be cool and let them use the whale. But that's just my opinion. I mean, how long were the Thrashers around? Chris Mason played for them.
Yeah.
So Kevin Weeks, NHL insider, who always shares his breaking news with these random backgrounds and behind him. I love it. I love it when he shares his. He's basically second only to Elliot Friedman when it comes to breaking news in the NHL. Like, the dude's always on top of everything. But Kevin Weeks is hinting at the case when he tweeted out a pair of emojis that indicated that his lips were sealed when it comes to the topic of Houston and Atlanta as the league's new expansion locations. He even shared the Houston Aeros logo. Houston Aeros.
Looks like an aeroplane.
Like an aeroplane,
Aeroplane. Yeah, I don't know. It's So what's it'd be like what, 5 years for something like that or longer?
So John Butchie Gross, the NHL analyst legend with ESPN, said Houston will also get an NHL team next time around with Atlanta, was what he tweeted. Just a couple days ago.
Yeah, it said something about there's ownership in place, but the NHL is not in on it yet or something.
So I guess if you did that, how would you do the conferences? Because they're both kind of like leaning.
They're even right now.
They're going to uneven it again.
I mean, well, who would you put in the East and who would you put in the West out of those two? You'd have to put Atlanta in the East, so Houston would be the West, I guess. So you would have, I mean, you get the natural rivalry between Houston and Dallas, which I have to admit would be fun because those two cities hate each other in sports. I've got friends from both cities, and they have confirmed it to me. That is a very bitter rivalry between people from Houston and people from Dallas. They do not like each other. The only thing they share is that they're both Texans. Other than that, they do not like each other at all.
Maybe that's what they're counting on.
So it would be a fun rivalry right out the rip that you could market for the league.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, bringing the NHL to Atlanta again, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like it didn't work out once. Why would you want to tempt fate again? It seems like it would be like putting a hockey team in Louisville. I don't know. It's just like, it seems like it wouldn't work out.
I would give a chance for it working out in Louisville before Atlanta.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah, probably.
You're probably right.
Louisville's got a world-class arena at least.
Yeah, just sitting there.
All right, we're in the second period here. 3 minutes in. Preds continue to trail 2-1. We're about to round out episode 176 here. We'll continue to watch the game with you guys on Twitter. So tweet at the show at Catfish Ice. Again, we're brought to you by DraftKings promo code THPN. Last topic of the night, NHL quick hitters here, is we're going to revisit our Stanley Cup final predictions one more time. And it's our final update of our predictions. Again, everybody, I had Canes beating the Avalanche in the Cup final. I still feel really, really good about my Canes prediction. I don't know about the Avs, though, man. I'm starting to feel I'm a little unsure about the Avs. The Dallas Stars are pushing a hard bargain right now.
Yeah, they are.
So I'm going to, while I have the opportunity, I'm still going to stick with the Canes winning the Stanley Cup. I'm sticking with that pick. That was my original pick. I'm going to stick with them. But I'm jumping ship on the Avalanche to represent the Western Conference. Jumping ship on them. I'm not going Dallas Stars either. I am going with the Seattle Kraken to lose to the Carolina Hurricanes. Stamp it, book it. I can't change my prediction. It's done. It's sealed away. I'm going to live and die with it. Canes beat the Kraken in 6. Stanley Cup final prediction.
That's good.
Sticking with it.
I like it. So I know I had Toronto in the East, and I really do not remember who I said in the West. Do you remember?
We all took Avs.
Oh,
Yeah, I
did we?
think everybody took the Avs.
So I'm gonna switch it up.
Kyle took Rangers.
That's right.
Who did you
And we
take,
all-
Rich, in the East?
I said Toronto.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I'm jumping ship. It's gonna be Boston, and I bet it's gonna be Boston and Dallas, and I'm gonna go Boston, but it'll probably take 6 or 7 games.
So you're predicting Boston in 6?
6 or 7. Dallas is tough, man.
Over Dallas. Okay. And then Kyle, are you changing your original prediction, or are you sticking with Rangers over Avs?
I cannot, in good conscience, cheer for the Rangers now because they have my least favorite player in the NHL.
Oh yeah, they took Patrick Kane. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's just such a d-bag. I mean, just
Love it.
I just
well,
can't
he
like
came
the
home.
guy.
He
doesn't
came
look
home to
friendly.
New York. He wanted to go to New York so bad.
He
Yeah.
always looks like he's smelling
Okay.
poo.
Yeah,
So
he
change,
doesn't look
so
very
change your so take your Rangers pick out. You can change
Oh.
both teams if you want. We're getting a mulligan here. This is the whole point of this. We're getting mulligans.
Boston
There you go.
and Edmonton.
Ooh, that'd be
and
a fun.
Boston
That'd
in
be
5 games.
Boston in 5.
in 5
Yeah.
over
All right.
Edmonton.
Omar will have to
Edmonton
be on
wins 1 at
his.
home.
Omar will have to be on his game for that one.
All right, we got a prediction right there. Canes over Kraken in 6 for me. Rich predicts Boston in 6 over Dallas. Kyle predicts Boston in 5 over Edmonton. We're all taking Eastern Conference teams. So there you have it.
When you look at the teams in the East, Carolina is the only one. If it came down to Boston and Carolina, that would be either one of them could win that legitimately. Carolina is good. I mean, they're just cooking. They are exactly. They are cooking.
Sign me up for a Carolina Boston playoff series.
Yeah,
sign me up for that. That's going to be a war.
Absolutely, and I'm all for that. It'll be good. I have a quick hitter real quick. I don't know if y'all saw this. Do you remember the goaltender Kazimir Kaskasuo that played for the Preds?
Yes.
Oh, I know where you're going, and it was amazing.
Did you see what he got suspended for 5 games? He plays in the SHL over in Sweden. He chucked a water bottle at a referee and hit him in the back of the head, and the referee was past the blue line, and he just chucked a water bottle and hit him, and he got suspended for 5 games because of that.
Oh my gosh. Wow. What organization is he with now?
It's Leksand, Leksand.
But like, is he associated with an NHL team?
No.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And this is his final season playing with them, I think. So,
all right, let's share a couple more comments before we get out of here. Once again, last update here. Preds are trailing 2-1 to the Canucks right now. Still a lot of time left. We haven't even reached the midway point of regulation yet. So we'll keep watching this game after the episode. But let's share a couple comments here on our predictions. Prediction says Kyle's prediction would be revenge for the 1990 Stanley Cup final.
have to take your word for it.
Edmonton, Boston would be a storybook NHL Stanley Cup final. The NHL, Gary Bettman would love that.
Yeah.
If he could get Edmonton, Boston, he would love that. He would eat that up. Justin Gambino, our good friend Justin, says Boston's season is going too well. I really think they are the playoff upset.
Okay, whatever. Justin.
Mike Twitter says get Ekholm back to the cup. I never thought I would say I would cheer for Edmonton Oilers, but Matthias Ekholm's made it a little bit easier.
Out of all the people who you would want to see win, he would be probably the one for sure.
Couple more comments here. Liz says that's a bold take. I like it. I'm assuming, I don't know. I feel like my prediction is pretty bold to take Seattle. Seattle would be a fun story for the NHL too, though.
Oh, they'd love that.
Mm-hmm.
They'd love that.
They've got a lot of good storylines here. And then also Liz says, back to the expansion city topic, Austin is just crazy enough that I could see it working. Austin, Texas. If you're going to go a city in Texas, go with Austin. I agree. Austin's a lot like Nashville.
Yeah.
And Austin has an MLS team, and they are crazy for their MLS team in soccer. So, yeah, why would you – yeah, if you're trying to grow the sport, go to Austin, Texas before you go to Houston. I agree with that, actually, from Liz. Quebec City, I don't think would work because it's a French-speaking city, and I mean overwhelmingly. Okay.
But, man, Colorado be cool and let them have the Nordiques back. Oh, that'd be awesome. Old school.
Liz says that was at you, Chad. Yeah, I think she was referring to my Seattle pick. Yeah, it's kind of a hot take. I might be wrong on that, but we'll see. And then Max Greenberg to round out the episode. I kind of hate the Oilers too, but wouldn't mind them winning this year because of Ekholm.
That's exactly where I'm at with it.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we're all in agreement with Max on that one. Thanks, Max, for jumping in here at the end of episode 176.
Thanks, everybody.
Brought to you by DraftKings. Yeah, thank you to everyone. We love y'all giving us so many great comments throughout the episode. Can't thank y'all enough. It's been a really fun episode. I'm going to try my best to stay up till the end of this game. I'm not going to make any promises, but I'm going to try my best. Last update here, Preds still trail 2-1. We'll catch up here. Oh, Roman Yossi. Oh, they just scored. No, they didn't.
No.
Wait till you guys see this. Oh, we got a scrum. Cole Smith is ripping a guy. What is going on?
Oh, yeah, he didn't. Uh-oh. Oh, Yossi's got
Cole Smith and JT Miller just went at it.
Cole Smith is pounding on that dude.
Did you guys?
Until the dude started pounding on him.
Yeah, and then
but Cole Smith got the first few shots.
And then he got
Hey, Cole Smith can throw the mitts.
Yep.
But I thought. So what got everyone all upset here? Let's see. It's usually when he crashed into the goalie. That's what gets everyone upset.
I think that might have been what it was. Let's see what happened real quick. So
Trennan was in.
I don't know.
No, it all centered around Sissons. Holy crap. Cole Smith laid out some haymakers, guys.
He sure did. Oh, golly. And then Miller got in some good shots and they fell down. That was
not what you would call a formal drop the gloves type of fight.
No.
That was I'm really pissed off and we're just going to do this right now.
They did it. Crazy.
Wow. All right.
Did y'all see the Yaroslav Askarov goalie fight?
Oh, yeah. How did we leave that out? Yeah, we got to touch on that. That was amazing.
That was good.
That was good.
He's a funny dude, man. I can't wait till he gets up here.
He's going to catch a lot of headlines. Yeah. Hey, guys, we might not be on. We're not going to probably be live when we see this, but I'm calling it right now. Preds got a goal cooking here in the next 5 minutes. I'm calling it right now. There's 12 minutes left. I'm calling it right now. Preds are hunting. They're hunting for that next goal. They're starting to take some momentum here. That fight's going to galvanize them. They're going to score here pretty soon. But we'll have to wait and see after the episode if I'm right or not. We'll see. All right, it's been fun. Episode 176, Catfish on Ice with Chad Minton, Rich Howe, and Kyle Perkins. We appreciate y'all watching. Stay safe, everybody. Take care of one another. Be kind to one another. We'll see you next week.
Have a good one.
See y'all later.